The next theme of geography we're going to learn about is the theme of region. Here are the basics. Region is how places are like nearby places. And there's two main types of regions. There's cultural regions as defined by humans and people, and there's geographical or physical regions that are kind of defined by Earth's features. So some examples of cultural regions would be language regions, religion, etc. For instance, Latin America, the 13 colonies, the Middle East, and geographical or physical regions such as states and countries, or New England, the Midwest. Also climate regions having to do with the weather over time, like desert regions or grassland regions. Agricultural regions have to do with farming or a natural resource. So for instance, the Corn Belt in our country of the United States is an area that grows corn. Well, that's known as a region, and it's known as the Corn Belt based on what farming happens there, what agriculture. Or oil. A lot of our oil comes from the Middle East, and that's something that they have in common for a natural resource. So oil, a region would be the Middle East. Time zones are also a region. Sub-Saharan Africa is another example, or the Ozarks in our country. Let's take a look at our region. New Hampshire is our state, but we are also part of a region. A region is a group of nearby places that are similar in some way. So New Hampshire belongs to a region called New England. New Hampshire also is considered part of the region of the Northeast. Some people would say that New Hampshire is part of Patriots Nation because many people in New England follow the New England Patriots as a sports team. We even have regions within New Hampshire. So if you've ever watched the show Northwoods Law, Northwoods is a region within our state. So how is New Hampshire like other New England states? What do we use when we are comparing New Hampshire to include it in the region of New England? Why is New Hampshire in New England? Well, it's because it shares similar features with other New England states. So here we have a picture of New England, and we've got Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. And all of these states are different states, but they belong to the same region, in part because all of these things make them similar. The climate and the weather is common in all of these states. So we have cold winters and warm summers. We have fall that's in between and spring that's in between. But the weather in New Hampshire is very much like the weather in Massachusetts. So it makes us similar, makes us part of the same region. Animal life. We have the same kinds of animals that live in New Hampshire as live in Maine or live in Vermont or Massachusetts. We don't have alligators and poisonous snakes because we are not the climate for that in New England. So animal life is something that makes us common with other New England states. Same thing, plant life. We have trees that lose their leaves, and we have evergreen trees. We don't have palm trees. We don't have tropical flowers because of our climate. So the New England region has similar types of things that grow here. Imports and exports. We don't grow oranges in New England. So everybody in New England that wants to eat oranges has to go to the store and get them from where they were imported from other parts of the world. So we have the similar imports in New Hampshire and Maine, Vermont, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts because we make certain things that are common with other states. We also export things, sending them out. So for instance, apples. Apples is very common to grow in New England, or maple syrup is common to make in New England. So those are products that we make within the New England region. It makes us all similar. Also, the culture in New England is very similar. We have the same holidays and traditions and way of life. We have the same food that we eat, even though different families eat different food. In New England, we have certain things that we are known for. For instance, ice cream. New Englanders are known for loving ice cream. We have a lot of ice cream stores or ice cream shops or restaurants in New England. If you travel to the South, you don't find as many ice cream places because they're not as big into ice cream. New Englanders love their ice cream and their Dunkins. If you go to other parts of the country, Dunkin' Donuts is not always there. It was a New England chain that started in New England. And so we're very used to our Dunkins. And now they have the slogan, America runs on Dunkins, because they want to spread Dunkins throughout the country. But it started out as a New England treat. Our accent in New England is similar. So if you have a Massachusetts accent and a New Hampshire accent, a Maine accent, they're slightly different from each other. But if you compare them to the whole country, they're very similar. We have a New England accent, like a Boston accent. Whereas if you go to the South, it's a totally different accent. Or if you go to Minnesota, it's a totally different accent. Or out in California, a different accent. We also share physical features with other New England states. So the Appalachian Mountains come up into New England. We have mountainous areas in New England, and we have ocean areas in New England, and we have flatlands in New England. So New England states are the same in lots of ways. Even though they are different states, they are very much similar, and so we put them all together as a region. All right, here's some more regions. This region, the first picture, is Latin America. The reason Latin America is a region is that they have a similar language and culture, a similar food, a similar history. So a lot of these are Spanish or Portuguese historically, those countries. So they have a similar culture, they have a similar language, a similar history. So we put them together and call them Latin America. Same for this part of Africa is Sub-Saharan Africa. Here's the Sahara Desert. These countries that are all below that have a lot of things in common as far as their culture, their climate, the animals, whereas Saharan Africa is very different with its climate. It's very dry. It's all desert. It's all desert. So that's why they don't include it in this region. Here's the Middle East. The Middle East has a similar culture, similar religion, similar beliefs, similar things that they grow, similar climate. They mostly oil here. So we lump it all together as a region, the Middle East. Time zones are also a region. Within each time zone, they practice the same time. So right now it's 11:07 in New Hampshire. It means everywhere in the Eastern time zone would be 11:07. We also break our country into several regions because our country is so big. The whole country is too much to really be in common, even though America has a lot of things in common. Each of these regions is similar in lots of ways. So the Northeast is our region. We have a lot of similar things about these states have a lot of similarities to each other, whereas the southern states have different similarities, and central states and western states. So we break up our country into regions because they have things in common. So to review, regions are how places are like their nearby places. Okay.